Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite pumping products, my favorite breastfeeding products, and a little bit about my breastfeeding journey. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I started nursing first, but my daughter was like, I guess when she was born, she like inhaled some, or like swallowed, not inhaled, swallowed some of the like waste that she had, I guess, I don't know. And so she was like spitting up a lot in the first day that she was born, so she was like underweight after 24 hours. Like when she was born she was fine, but like the next day she was like spitting up constantly. So I had a really hard time nursing because it really hurt. I just could not get over the pain. And like, oh, it just felt like someone was sandpapering my nipples and lighting them on fire at the same time. I was just like, I did not think that nursing was gonna feel that way. But it did. It was awful. And so she ended up needing to be bottle fed as a supplement, just in case she wasn't getting enough milk, because I was in such pain that I just was like, I need a break from this. So the nurses gave her some formula as well. So from the very beginning she was nursing and she was getting the bottle. For about 2 or 3 days she had formula and breast milk, and then after like a couple days the doctor said she can stop with the supplementing formula, and she can just be breastfed if that's what I want to do. So I continued to nurse her, but I was still having a hard time. I had, I think, 3 lactation consultants or whatever, lactation nurses, and they all said her latch was fine, her tongue was fine, my nipple was fine. They said everything was fine. I just needed to get used to the pain or whatever. Well, the skin on this nipple started to come off, and it was just like raw, and I was like, okay, this is terrible. So the nurse was like, well, you can always try pumping to relieve some of the, like, you know, give yourself a break a little bit. So then I like started looking on YouTube to see, do other people pump, like how does that go and things like that. So I started pumping with a Motif pump. I don't have it anymore, but it was a Motif Duo, and it was like probably about the size of my hand. And I didn't know, like I got that through my insurance because I was thinking I'm going to use it when I go back to work. I wasn't thinking I was going to use it all the time, because at the time I was thinking I was just going to be an exclusive nurser, or mostly nurser, and then that changed. So I started using it as an exclusive pumper, and it died out on me within 3 months, so I don't have that anymore. But anyways, that's what made me purchase this, which is my favorite pump. It is the Spectra S1, and I have this like I learned this from a YouTube channel. You can like take a gym bag and take the strap off of it and put it like this. That way when you're like around the house, walking around the house, you can just do this. And I actually did this when I went back to work too. When I had to like walk around the office, I had this like this. So yeah, the next thing I did, so I started exclusively pumping probably when she was at 2.5 months. And the reason why is because one night, like, it was like 3 in the morning, and I had nursed her, and she went to sleep like before she even really ate anything. She like took a few sucks and then went to sleep, and then I put her down. She woke up like 5 minutes later, cried again, nursed her some more, fell asleep immediately, put her back down. And like I kept trying to, people say, okay, we'll wake her up. I tried to wake her up every time that she fell asleep, like, but nothing would work. She was not waking up for anybody as long as she was latched onto me. So okay, I was like, okay, well, put her back down again. After like the 3rd time doing that, I was exhausted, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the refrigerator, take out some express milk, and see what happens. So I gave her a 5-ounce bottle of breast milk. She was out for the rest of the night. At that moment, I was like, that's it. I'm only pumping from here on out, like, because she falls asleep when she's nursing. She can't, you know, she doesn't eat everything that she needs to, and I'm tired and I'm not gonna keep doing this. She doesn't wake up when I try and get her up, so yeah. So anyways, that's when I got this guy and started pumping. That brought me to another problem that I started having. So the Spectra pump comes with, it's like, it's different than this. This is different. But the top to this, what Spectra comes with, they have their own flange, and it has like a little back to it. So like how this one does not have a back to it. I mean, it does, but it's like all the way back here, and I can still put my finger, I don't know if you can see that, in this little hole. Well, the Spectra pump, I think it cuts off like right about here with the wall, and my nipple is elastic, meaning that it really stretches and expands the space when it's pumping. So it became to the point where I couldn't like go very high on my pump to get good suction, and it kind of hurt my nipples too. So I was reading online that people were using Pumpin pals when they have elastic nipples. So that is my next favorite thing. It comes with, did it come with this adapter? I think it did. It comes with the adapter. Yeah, where else would I have gotten this? It comes with this adapter, and like I said, it's like further, it goes further back than the Spectra pump, and it has like these flanges of three or four different sizes. This size was the most comfortable for me, so this is the one I used. And you just put it in there, and it was wonderful. So I used that for quite a while. Most of my pumping, I used this, or these, I should say. The next thing I used was the LV pump. And it's not my favorite thing, but it's okay. Like, for me, because I have elastic nipples, I didn't get very good suction with this. I would maybe get like a couple of ounces, and I would have to use like this little insert thing or whatever that people said that they needed for theirs to work, but it didn't really work for me. It didn't work until I bought these guys from Legendariy Milk. These are silicone collection pumps, or silicone collection cups, I mean. And what you do is you just connect your pump to it. So if I have, and it comes with this. Okay, so if I have my Spectra pump, like literally this little thing just goes in here like that. And then you just turn it on and it pumps. I don't know if you can see what's happening, but it pumps. And the milk ends up going in, and this is the cup. The milk ends up going in here, and then when you're done, you take it out and you pour the milk out. It's pretty cool, and it holds up to 8 ounces, and this became my very favorite thing because it's so much more comfortable than the LV. I can put it under my clothes still, just like I can with the LV. The only thing that sucked was that I still had the Spectra pump attached to me, but I mean, it was just so much more comfortable, especially with this nipple that was so raw from nursing. And it's still raw today, like, so this is like this is my most favorite pumping thing. And they just came out with like a portable version of this, which I have not bought or tried because I'm about done with my pumping journey. My breastfeeding journey. My daughter's she's not like as interested in milk anymore now, and so it's kind of just like, okay, it's time. Yeah, so she's gonna be 1 in a couple days, so I mean, yeah. But anyways, this was my favorite thing. So it has a lot of pieces to it, so it kind of can look daunting and scary at first, but it's really easy. What I found out that this flange can go in your LV if you have elastic nipples, like I do. And you can put it on the same way you would usually, and it pumps just fine. Like, I was getting the same amount with this as I did just using these. So I was using that for a few months and I liked it, but I think it sucks differently, the LV pump, than the Spectra. I think it just maybe sucks more narrow because eventually the skin on this nipple started coming off again, so I stopped using these and my nipple has felt better ever since. I started using them months ago. So I guess all in all, I would say probably the LV pump was a waste of money for me, which sucks because it's really expensive. But other people rave about it on the internet. If you don't have elastic nipples, then this is probably a great thing for you. If my nipple wasn't damaged in the first place from nursing, I probably would still be using this, but I think my nipple was so sensitive that it's just like, you know, you can't handle it. So, but yeah, if you don't have elastic nipples or don't have a damaged nipple or sensitive nipples, then the LV pump is probably really great for you. And I did wear it to like doctor appointments. I wore it to work. It's just so convenient. Like, people don't even know you're wearing it unless it's very quiet where you are, and then they can hear it. Like, I was at a doctor appointment once, and it was just this awkward silence because she was writing something down and she could hear suction, and she was like, "Are you using LV pumps?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love those. I use them myself when I'm at work." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." So, but otherwise, people don't know that you're using them, typically, so they're pretty good products. Lanolin was my favorite thing to use on my nipples, because I was using coconut oil as well, but I found that the lanolin is much thicker, which I needed for that extra like protection, especially with my left nipple, which is super sensitive, like I've mentioned a million times already. Something that helped me get through pumping at night was this lunchbox, this insulated lunchbox. So in the middle of the night when I had to do those early, like 3 a.m. pumping sessions, or like midnight pumping sessions, and pumping all through the night, it's nice to not have to get out of bed to go to the refrigerator to put the milk away or anything. So what I would do is, it comes with 2 of these, and there's like a little pocket to put them in. And so I would put these in my lunch bag and put the milk in here and then zip it up. And in the morning, the milk felt like I had just put it in the refrigerator all night because it was just that cold. So I loved this thing. It made just pumping just so much easier because I didn't have to actually leave my bed, so it was easier to go back to sleep when I was done. So what I would do after pumping at night is I would usually be using these at the time, and I would just use my Madela wipes, and I would wipe these down, all the pieces, and then let them dry on paper towel that was next to my nightstand, that was on my nightstand, and then go to sleep and wake up, and there you go. I mean, wake up in the morning once it was time to like be awake, or the next pumping session or whatever. That was really nice. And some people also said to put these in the this guy to like slow bacterial growth after you wipe them down with the Madela wipes. I sometimes did that, but most of the time I didn't, and it was fine. So yeah. I also bought a Thermos. I don't know how to say this name, but this is what it is. Is it Ceres Chill? I think it's called Ceres Chill. So this is really cool because you can put, and what I usually used it for, I have 2 of these. I used one for keeping the milk cold, and one for warming it up. So so I would warm it up with like hot water that I had boiled or whatever, and then just put this on, whatever. And I always had bottles that were pre-made, so I would just, when it was time, if I was out and about and it was time for her to eat, I would just pop the bottle in here and let it sit in the hot water, and then take it out and feed her. And it was great because it kept the water hot for a really long time. So if I was like going somewhere where I knew there wasn't going to be access to hot water, then I would just take this with me. For cold, like the cold one that I used, what I could do, I never ended up having to do this actually, but because I was never gone that long, it turns out. But if you're ever gone for a long time, what you can do is pump. When you pump your milk, they have these adapters that you can actually pump your milk right into this guy, which is pretty cool. Like, instead of pumping into the bottle, it could pump into this, which I thought was pretty cool. And then you could put like cold water or ice in this guy, and then put it in here, and that would keep it nice and cold, which is really awesome. So I didn't actually learn about these until I was far enough in my pumping journey to like where I wasn't pumping as often as I was at the first like part of my pumping journey. So, but anyways, the hot one I definitely used quite often when we had to go run errands or go to church or whatever. My next favorite thing was using a steamer for her bottles. I highly recommend, instead of like boiling all the time, just putting them in here. It was so great to have, to just be able to have something that's just for her. I don't have to like share, I didn't have to like share my her bottles with like our dishes or anything like that, especially not at first, because the CDC recommends you don't do that in the first 3 months. So having your own thing for her stuff to get sterilized, or sterilized, is helpful. So what she would do is put water in this guy and just plug it in, and it has different settings that you can use for sterilizing the bottles. Sterilizing or sanitizing? I don't know. You know what I mean. So anyways, it has like 6 things, so you can only do 6 bottles at a time. But you could also do her pacifiers and things like that on the top rack, which I ran this thing a few times a day. And then my final favorite thing was the Ladybugs. These were helpful when I went back to work and like I would have a letdown while I was working or something, but it wasn't time to pump yet. It was just my body preparing for that. Having these on when I'm in a session, when I'm in a therapy session or whatever, made me feel more secure. Like I didn't have to worry about, what if I leak while somebody's, you know, that's distracting to the client. Unless the client is a woman who has kids, then she probably understands, but in any case, it's still distracting, and I didn't want that situation, and so this helped me a lot to catch whatever would come out, and I would end up getting quite a few ounces a lot of times using these. So that is all. Oh, and my final favorite thing, my pumping bag. My pumping bag is important. I kept my pump in it. This is from Pumpin Pals, so I could like wash my stuff when I'm at work and then put it in here to dry. And what else would I put in my pumping bag? I would put Madela Wipes in here, which I think I don't have any in here right now. I don't need to use my pumping bag so much anymore because I only pump once a day and it's at night, so I never have to use this anymore. But when I did, I used I had Madela Wipes in here. I had extra like pump parts just in case. Obviously I need my pump parts. I had a bottle in there. I would always keep like 2 extra breast milk bags just in case, and hand sanitizer. But yeah, I highly recommend get a diaper bag or a pumping bag or whatever. And that's something that every exclusive pumper needs. I don't care who you are, if you're an exclusive pumper, you need it. Okay, so those are my favorite products to use as an exclusive pumper. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more content, like and subscribe. Thanks.